When we seek to make a name for ourselves. People change when they are no longer alone, but part of a crowd. In a crowd, faces disappear and names fade. Personal responsibility gives way to the power of us, and in that moment, people easily lose their direction. After Noah, humanity multiplied rapidly. As their numbers grew and their strength increased, people began to desire something subtle but dangerous, not to glorify the greatness of God, but to prove the greatness of humanity. So they said to one another, "Let us build a city and a tower with its top reaching the heavens." This was not merely an architectural plan. There was a clear intention behind it. Let us make a name for ourselves. In essence, this was a declaration that humanity believed it was sufficient without God, an attempt to replace God's name with the name of human achievement. This is how Satan always works. He does not begin by demanding great sins. Instead, he plants very small seeds in each human heart: the desire to boast, the desire to be recognized, the desire to place ourselves ahead of God. At first, these seeds seem insignificant, but as they connect and grow together, they become a forest, and that forest ultimately becomes a challenge against God. Perhaps in God's eyes, this moment was even more dangerous than the wickedness before the flood, because this time, it was not merely fallen individuals, but a united humanity convinced that it could live without God. God could have chosen judgment once again, but instead, he chose a different way. He confused their language so that they could no longer understand one another, and he scattered them across the earth. This scattering was not merely punishment, it was grace. Before sin could grow beyond control, God intervened and stopped it. When we look carefully at Scripture, we see this pattern repeated again and again. Humanity sins, God disciplines, but he never ends the story there. He always leaves a path toward restoration. Our journey of faith is no different. We move back and forth between sin and restoration countless times. There are moments when today's failure makes us feel as though everything is over. But God sees differently. He sees tomorrow's restoration greater than today's sin. That is why he calls us not to despair, but to return once again to his love. If we refuse restoration, Satan will not stop. He will continue planting seeds, growing pride, pushing God aside, and leading our lives into confusion. Dear friends, today we must ask ourselves an honest question. Am I lifting up the name of God, or am I trying to build my own name? God is the one who calls us back even in the midst of our scattering. May this moment be a time of restoration, a time to lay down our own name and once again hold fast to the name of God.
Hidden in the crowd, when I tried to lift my name, I trusted in our strength more than I saw your face. From towers built so high, we cried out toward the sky. But what we called a prayer was pride in our own eyes. I lay down my name and I hold to yours alone. Not our glory, Lord, but yours be shown. I lay down my name and follow where you lead. call me back to thee. A small seed in my heart grew into something wide, unaware that all this time I was pushing you aside. But you chose mercy still to stop me not condemned. Before I fully fell, you restored my life again. I lay down my name and I hold to yours alone. Not human unity, but your will be my home. I lay down my name and choose the path you give. Not bound to yesterday's sin, but in restoration I live. Even in scattered ground, you still call out my name. Upon the broken place, you open roads again. I lay down my name, let only yours remain. And I hold to yours alone. Not human unity, but your will be my home. I lay down my name and choose the path you give. Not bound to yesterday's sin, but in restoration I live.